And so it kind of, by not hitting snooze, you're living more intentionally. You're telling yourself, I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to get up at this time. And then instead of hitting snooze and straying from your plan, you're doing exactly what you intended to do.
That means I'm moving. I made a few mistakes, but I'm improving. I'm human, but I've been making daily resolutions. I got to. You might do it different, but I'm not you.
Hey, Mark.
I'm self-made. I'm
Hey, Mark.
doing things that I
Mark.
was never taught.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Hey Mark, the podcast where I, Mark, get to have open and authentic conversations about, topics that we don't necessarily always want to talk about, whether that be mental health, depression, anxiety, or just kind of like motivation or self-development, things that kind of don't come up in our day-to-day conversations. And so I want to start these conversations and hopefully bring them to you in a new perspective, and also let other people know that no matter what they are dealing with or struggling with, they're not alone. And so that goes for you as well. Whatever things that you have going on in your life, any struggles, any adversities, anything that you're really facing that's giving you a hard time, I just want to let you know that no matter what it is, you're not alone. There's other people that are kind of going through the same things right now. They've been through, similar things as you in the past, or maybe there's people in your life that are going to go through these situations in the future. At the end of the day, the purpose of all of this is to kind of connect with one another, build a community, and understand that, the people in your life are there to support you and help you through these struggles that you're going through. You're not the only one that goes through them, right? So that being said, let's get into today's episode, which is another episode of What Would Mark Do? And so, I'm gonna have to come up for like a little jingle for that, or some sort of intro into this. If you can come up with a cool little intro or a jingle to What Would Mark Do? Then I'll give you $100. Is that fair? Maybe more. I don't know. Send me a jingle. Let's work something out. But what would Mark do? That's the episode today. That's the topic we're on about. And so What Would Mark Do is a segment basically where you can send in a clip of you asking me a question, giving me your ideas, telling me your opinion on some topic, maybe just bragging about something that you've achieved recently, some accomplishment that you've overcome that maybe you're proud of and you want to let me know about, and then maybe I can give my 2 cents on it. Whatever it is, send me your clip and I'll address whatever you say. So let's get to today's entry. Roll the clip.
Hey Mark, it's Arnie from the Digging Deep podcast, and I want to know how these 4 or 5 a.m. mornings has changed you both physically and mentally. Have a good day, buddy. Peace.
Arnie, what's going on, bro? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, that's Arnie. He's from the Digging Deep podcast. Their Instagram is, I believe, Digging Deep 420. It'll be down here. If you're watching the video of this, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen so you can kind of see the spelling. Go and look them up. They are hilarious. They really do dig deep on the topics that they talk about, and just kind of, in their own words, don't really give a fuck. They like to just kind of have a good time. And so go ahead and check out the Digging Deep podcast. They're funny dudes, but let's go ahead and, answer this question. Arnie. So, how did waking up early change me, both mentally and physically? Mentally, I'd say it's helped me a lot more, but I guess to some degree, you could actually argue that physically, it's kind of given me almost all the results that I have. And so the reason I can attribute waking up early to so much of my life is because it's not something that I really naturally want to do. Naturally, when I was a kid and a teenager, I think I was usually waking up around like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, which, I considered to be quote unquote early at that time. And then kind of later into my life, I obviously, once I was like kind of in my late teens, early 20s, I went, partying a little bit more. I was drinking a little bit more, staying up later. And so when you're staying up later, obviously you're going to stay in bed later as well, for the most part. And so obviously the wake up time for me pushed back to like 10, 11 o'clock. I was working at a restaurant in the time, when I was like 19, 20. And so we'd get off work late, drink, party, have fun, and then be in bed pretty late, like probably like 3, 4 o'clock at night, in the morning, I guess. And then be up at like 10, 11, 12, sometimes 1. And so that was kind of how I lived a lot of my life. And then because of different habits, my wake up times just kind of fluctuated over the next couple of years. But, you know, pretty much the beginning of last year, or maybe the end of the prior year, so 2019, end of 2019, middle of 2019, a couple years back, let's just say. I don't really remember when it was, but a couple years back, I decided to try and join the 5 a.m. club. Basically, I was in a kind of a weird spot in my life, and I knew I needed some sort of an improvement. I knew I needed just to make my life better. There were so many indicators for me. I was, you know, depressed, anxious, wasn't happy with my body. My self-image wasn't too awesome. My confidence was shot, and I just knew I needed a change. And, you know, for myself, I looked at a lot of other people that were happy and successful and had all the things that, you know, I kind of aspired to have in my life. And I looked at the common theme, which is something that you guys obviously hear all the time, which is I had to wake up earlier. There was this 5 a.m. club I had to join. And so that was kind of my first initial, you know, I guess, notion to want to try and do something like this. And that's when I started to kind of gradually dial back, or dial earlier, or dial back my wake up time. And so the way I went about it was I went by like 5-minute increments every single day. So if I was normally waking up around like 10, I'd go for 9:55, 9:50, 9:45. And I literally went day by day, gradually decreasing back until I got to 6 o'clock. And 6 o'clock in the morning, I would wake up, kind of have a little workout before work or school or whatever I was doing at the time, and then start my day that way. It was just kind of a way to wake up and move. And so that workout, you know, typically it started with weights, but I ended up moving into doing a little bit more cardio in the morning. I just found that it woke me up a little bit more, got my blood pumping, and just kind of energized me for the day. And then I'd usually lift weights later on in the day. And this workout in the morning wasn't always a long one. It could be just like a 15-minute jog, like something just to literally force yourself to get out of bed. And the longer and longer that I've been waking up earlier, the easier it's been getting for the most part, and the earlier I consider to be early. And so for me now at this point, if I wake up at 6 o'clock, I feel like I've gotten a really good rest. Like that's kind of the latest I've slept in the last couple months. And I've been feeling really great. And so let's start talking about the actual benefits of this. It took me years to dial back to my current wake up time, which obviously can fluctuate, but right now it's sitting at 4:05 in the morning. And you know, it usually fluctuates between there and 4:30. I typically set a rule for myself, which is wake up between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock every single day, just to kind of remain consistent and not have my body fluctuate and guessing when it should be waking up. So it's kind of instilled a lot of discipline and consistency in my life in that way, because if I have a consistent wake up time, then I also have a consistent workout time or reading time or journal time. It kind of sets my morning cues in check, if that makes sense. So just waking up at the right time or the same time every single day, really, it instilled a lot of my habits. I'd say that's kind of the basis of all the routine that I have in my life is my bedtime and my wake up time. So that's one way it's changed me. It's given me more consistency and discipline in that way. The other way that it's changed me is when I wake up in the morning, I do not hit snooze. I don't hit it one time. I've actually deleted the snooze function off my alarm clock because I just use my phone. And so I set my alarm for 4:05, I hit stop, and I instantly make my feet touch the floor as fast as I can. The reason I do that is because the very first decision that you have to make in your day is Do I hit snooze? Yes or no? Do I stay in bed, essentially? Yes or no? Do I stay wrapped up in these cozy covers? You know, even though I might be telling myself, hey, I deserve to do this. I've been working really hard recently. I deserve the rest. Rightfully so, but then just go to bed earlier, right? Because when you wake up in the morning, your role is to get up and start, doing something. You don't have to go to work necessarily, but just get up, start doing things. Our ancestors never really just woke up and laid around and did nothing. The ones that did ended up dying off. And so, obviously some days you're gonna need rest, but that's gonna be active recovery. You're gonna be going out for a walk or stretching or doing something else, but at the very least, just get up out of bed when you wake up. That's kind of a no-brainer. And the more you obviously have these thoughts of, oh, I should just stay in bed, or I can just take it easy today, and the more you listen to them, then the easier that decision is going to be for every other decision that you're going to have to make. So you're going to always, gear towards taking the easy road, the comfortable road, the road that is going to have the least resistance. And so if you acclimate yourself to just getting up in the morning, not hitting snooze, the second you wake up, you get out of bed, you're acclimating your brain, you're acclimating neurological pathways, you're rewiring yourself to basically be all right or be comfortable with making the decision that's going to be maybe a little bit more work, but also a lot more rewarding. And so it's just kind of gearing your brain into that mindset of, things might be difficult today, but no matter what, I know that I'm going to make the right decisions that are going to land me where I need to be. So that starts with the first win of the day, which is, making that tough decision and executing right away, getting up out of bed. And also, this is another thing that I kind of just forgot about, but, not hitting snooze also kind of instills a way of, living intentionally. If you've set an alarm, you're intending to wake up at that time. Whether you say to yourself, oh, I'm gonna sleep a little bit more, I'm gonna wake up at this time, sleep another 15 minutes, and then get up after that because I like to just nap in the morning. Look, you're literally instilling in yourself that, you just wanna stay the way that you are, stay comfortable, and kind of, be complacent. And by all means, if that's what you want to do, go for it. But I'm talking about how this advanced my mindset or changed me because I was looking to improve. So if you're comfortable with yourself, you're comfortable with everything, and your life is perfect and you're happy and you don't really feel like you want to improve, then by all means, stay doing whatever you're doing. But if you do want to change, then this could be a catalyst for you, like it was for me. And so it kind of, by not hitting snooze, you're living more intentionally. You're telling yourself, I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to get up at this time. And then instead of hitting snooze and straying from your plan, you're doing exactly what you intended to do. And that instills living intentionally inside you as well. These little things build up from the first decision you make every single morning to the last decision you make every single evening. And so how has this all helped me physically? Now, not only is it giving me more time to train because I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning basically, and no one else is around, there's no distractions, I'm not getting texts, I'm not getting emails, I'm not getting phone calls, I'm not getting any FaceTimes, I'm not getting anybody contact me. It's purely my time. It's purely a time for me to focus on what it is that I want to work on, whether that be a workout, whether that be reading a chapter of my book, whether that be journaling and organizing my thoughts, whether that be just kind of editing or kind of kicking around, just working on something, but getting up early and just attacking the goals that I have or attacking the things that are making me feel insecure at that moment, right? And so it's given me more time to train. It's given me more of a mentality of wanting to train. I kind of feel like Rocky Balboa when I'm up in the morning and going for a run and the streets are empty and no one else is awake, and you kind of feel like that underdog feeling. For me, that's a very empowering feeling and it's really motivating for me. So it keeps my kind of mindset in check, motivates me more to train. I train more often. I sleep earlier at night so I can recover faster, and then I can train more often. And so that's kind of a really cool benefit that I see in it, because when you're waking up early, you're going to bed earlier as well. And you're gonna get your 8 hours of sleep, 7 hours of sleep, because you're gonna be fucking tired and you know you're gonna wake up tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the morning. So because of that, it's kept me sleeping, a solid 8, 7. The lowest I really go is like 6 hours of sleep right now. So I'm recovering well. I'm in the mindset to train. I'm training often. And obviously all of those things have kind of put me in a better place in my physical health. Not to mention, like I was talking about earlier, when you make that first win of your day, like getting up early and not hitting snooze, and then maybe you go for a workout or a run or a jog, a walk, it could be a bike ride, it could be anything, literally anything, whatever you do, and you're making all these, maybe not difficult decisions, but the decisions that the old you wouldn't have made, then it's going to inspire you to want to make change in other areas of your life as well. Instead of reaching for that bowl of sugary cereal, maybe, I don't know, am I allowed to say brands? Yeah, fuck, I don't care. You reach for a bowl of Lucky Charms and then you pour some milk in. Instead of doing something like that like you normally would, maybe you swap that out for a little bit of oatmeal or some eggs or something that's a little bit more healthy, a way that you can kind of start your day and continue feeling good, making these decisions that you wouldn't have normally made in the past. And then you're starting to, eat healthier, move more, wake up at a consistent time. Your circadian rhythm starts syncing up really well because you're waking up at the same time every time. And then your metabolism starts getting a lot healthier and better as well. It starts to regulate itself a lot more because you're eating well, you're waking up at the same time all the time. And so everything just starts working and feeling better. And so your physical and mental health, in my experience, improve vastly when you start waking up earlier in the morning and waking up at the same time all the time. And that is how doing so has improved, my mental and physical health. So I hope that answers your question, Arnie. Again, go and check out their podcast. They are extremely funny dudes. Thank you so much for sending me this clip, bro. I really appreciate it. And for everyone else that sends me these clips as well, it really just shows who's supporting me and who is really kind of looking out for me. And trust me, I will not forget those things. I sincerely appreciate anybody that's wanting to, support this movement of just kind of making everybody feel like no matter what they're going through, they're not alone. And so if you're down with this shit, and you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, hit like, do everything that you can to support, because a lot of that, really means the world to me. But raise awareness, because mental health sincerely fucking matters. It really does. And we all know somebody that has struggled with this. So spread the word that no matter what you're going through, you're not alone. Obviously, if you listen to the podcast version of this, if you're on Apple Podcasts, leave a little review, leave a little comment, maybe a little 5-star review for your boy. But that's all I got today. Send in your clips, ask your questions, and support the cause of just letting people know that they're not alone. Thank you so much. You are the reason I do what I do. Much love and peace out.